Right, I've had a fair few comments and emails now regarding my divorce, what I should do, especially regarding her property. Now, let me just make this perfectly clear. Not that I want to sound like Keir Starmer, because that's what he says, but I want to be clear on this. When we first got together, she already owned her property, okay? I lived with her in her property for a few years before she decided to sell that property and buy another one down in Wales. And she worked hard for that property. She got a mortgage out and just worked hard on it for herself. And I completely respect that. I never bought a property, and I don't really have regrets over that. But the point I'm trying to make is, it was her property. And it still is her property. She bought it with her money that she earned. Yeah, I am not ever gonna fight her for it, because the way I feel, it's something that I shouldn't be fighting for. It was hers. Regardless of what you feel, obviously I'm devastated because that she doesn't want to be with me anymore, but her property and her belongings are hers and hers alone. And that's why I'm not pursuing it, and I don't want to. I want her to be comfortable and happy and secure in her life. I just don't want it. I'm not interested. I have too much respect, and I love her too much to start some fucking nasty fight over some finances over a property. I know people are saying that I could probably live to regret it, or she would do the same to me if it was my property. But I've got my own morals regarding it, and that's why I've got to let go. That's why don't have an interest. I agree to the terms of the divorce. What happens next remains to be seen. But I'm not going to pursue at all for any finances at all. I really, really hope you can understand why I'm saying that. It's only money. She doesn't work at the minute, because she can't. She owns her property, which she worked hard for when she did work, and I've got a job at the minute. I've got money coming in, although it's not a vast amount of money, but I've got money. I've got a wage coming in, and I've got my van, and I'm happy with that. I don't want a house. I don't want a flat. I don't want a property. I want, if I had any choice, it would be to bugger off in my van and live free off grid for as long as possible, but I can't at the minute. But that's a different topic. But the fact is, I'm not going to pursue her for any of her property or any financial stuff whatsoever at all. I have no interest in that, and no matter what harsh words I may get via email or comments saying, Gary, you're an idiot or a dick or whatever, I'm not going to change my decision on that. I'm just not. Regardless of what she did, whether she intended to cause me pain or not, or made me suffer, I still want what's best for her. Yeah, and I truly hope that you can understand where I'm coming from with that. I really do. It just gives me a sense of well-being and peace and happiness, knowing that I can just agree to the terms and walk away with this divorce, and she can just live on and hopefully find her happiness again, and hopefully I will too. And that's why I'm not going to turn it into a nasty fight, rightly or wrongly. But that's my decision, and I truly hope you can understand why I've made this choice.